NBA free agency. Now, this section is gonna say MLB midseason review. So, in the entire MLB, guys, the Tigers are second, but first in the American League. The White Sox are gonna lose 100 games this year. The Orioles are getting close. I wasn't expecting this. The Orioles had a lot of good young talent. The Twins suck. Athletics are in a rebuild. I'm gonna say Mike Trout injuries. I don't know many people on the Rays. I'm sure they had some. I think they traded some pitching pieces. They had some controversy, I think, or something like that. Just kind of mid. They were in the playoffs last year. The reason why the Tigers went home. Royals are having some rebuild kicks, still positive. The Rangers, I don't know much about the Rangers. The Mariners, I've been playing considerably well, I guess, for them. Astros are doing pretty good this season. Red Sox have been super hot lately, super hot. Been watching the Red Sox. The Yankees are always going to be up here. I don't know what it is about them. Maybe it's their schedule or their small ass stadium or whatever the deal is. They win a lot of games because they have 134 run difference. Like, it's going to be really hard to beat a team that puts up a lot of runs like that. You know what I'm saying? Then Blue Jays are right behind the Tigers at half a game because they've been losing. Like I said, they've been losing some games. The Rockies are about to lose 100 games in literally 2 games. One of the worst teams. A lot of movement, a lot of shifting. I don't know what the MLB needs to do to make these two teams get back to being competitive, but it kind of feels like they're just salary filling, laundering money for companies. They have the best young pitcher in baseball, and the Pirates just losing. The Nationals had one of the best shortstops in the best young shortstops in baseball, I think. The Marlins traded away everything they had. The Braves were dealing with a lot of injuries to their pitching staff and some of their best hitters. I don't know much about the Cardinals. They started off hot and then the Diamondbacks are always mid-level. They just won, I think, a championship. The Giants are ass. The Reds are kind of just like mid. Like after Ellie, you don't really know a lot of household names on that team. At least I know. The Mets with Juan Soto are at least above 500, which I would hope because they had some pieces already before he got there. The Padres, with all that heavy batting help, I see that they have Machado, Tatis, Reyes. They should be winning games, but their run count is very low for a team that has that many hitters on it. Surprisingly, the National League is much closer than the American. Yeah, all the way to the Mets at a fifth or sixth. Oh, I guess they're both competitive. I guess because these guys are given a bunch of free wins, it looks different. But nice parity throughout the league, I think. Not just a bunch of ass teams, because these are still like watchable baseball games down here. No, I won't say the same about this. But yeah, my sheesh. Really good against Central, really bad against the West. But yeah, that's the baseball part of it. You know what I'm saying? Only 5 minutes, so I'm not gonna end the stream for that. But I feel like Tigers are gonna end the season in first or second place. Yankees will be right behind them, probably fighting for first or second place. Blue Jays drop down. Let's look at the playoff picture right now. So yeah, I think because they're in what division are they in? The Yankees, if they catch them, will probably take their spot at second. And like I said, nobody's taking our spot. We're very clearly going to win the AL Central. So we're going to have a bye automatically. Um, this one's up for grabs between the Rangers and the Astros. This one's up for grabs if you want to call this that, because the Phillies would need to go on a losing streak. This one's kind of like When are the Brewers ever going to come back to reality? We never know. The Dodgers are going to eventually start breaking away, but the Padres are very close on their ass. And then the Cubs are having a good season, but like I said, the Brewers are outrageous right now. So I feel like baseball is still very entertaining. If you aren't tapped in, tap into baseball for the year's over. Now, let's get into the NFL season. So we're going to talk about the two teams that made the Super Bowl first. Let's go with the Eagles. Um, First game of the year, they're playing Michaelis Cowboys, but Kenny Clark is no slouch. I feel like the run game is what they traded for to try to handle that. So I think watch for Kenny Clark and Saquon in these games. Those are my two standout players for them. Then they play the Chiefs. Obviously, you know they always try to throw the rematch in the season after. So watch for that. I feel like the Chiefs are getting healthier because they're bringing back, I think, Rashi or one of the, whoever tore their fucking ACL. They drafted somebody, I think, to help with their O line. Pacheco's back. Travis's wedding warm up season. You know, then they played the Rams. Matthew Stafford always gives them trouble, especially going to be like that with Devontae, healthy running back. Baker always finds a way to beat him. Bo Nix, Russell Wilson, J.J. McCarthy, Russell Wilson again, Packers, us, Cowboys again, Bears, Chargers, Raiders, Commanders, Bills, and then Commanders again. So they end the season off three really hard games. The Eagles end their season off with three really hard games. They got a pancake schedule, I feel like, the beginning of their season, but also not. You know what I mean? Like, these could be easy games depending on how they handle them, but they could also be hard. So I feel like the middle part of their season from week 5 to their bye week. Week 5 to their bye week, they got some let up. So if they start the season out right, they could be right back in the running to go back again. Um the Hypothetical. Mr. Hypothetical starts out the year facing Fatty Mahomes. Then they play the Eagles like we've seen. Then they also get to play Russell Wilson. Why does everybody get to fucking beat up on Russell Wilson this year on the fucking Giants? I hope he beats one of these two fucks. The Ravens with a re-signed Derrick Henry, year 5, Zay Flowers maybe. Lamar Jackson coming off an MVP year where he got robbed. You bring over Jair Alexander, you re-sign Kyle Hamilton, the Ravens, you know what I'm saying, a good team. The Jaguars, who just drafted Travis Hunter, have Brian Robinson Jr. coming back. Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne. Let's hope they can figure out how to work those two guys back into the offense. Did I see them sign Darren Waller? Is that somewhere else? I don't know. I can't remember. Should be a good game. The Lions in week 6 is going to be a dogfight. Obviously, Raiders are free dub. Commanders is going to be a hard game. Bills is going to be a hard game. Bo Nix is going to be a hard game for them. They almost lost last year to them. Daniel Jones free dub. Dallas Cowboys probably going to be a hard game for whatever reason, because you know they have to make them competitive. Houston, Texas, a regress year. Chargers probably a free dub. Titans probably a super free dub. Broncos play them again, and then Raiders. So I see the Chiefs going a devilish 13-4. Devilish 14-4. Packers starting the year out versus the Lions. Guys, it's in Lambeau. Micah's there. They're gonna make this big whoop out of this game and then get dog walked. That's my prediction. I feel like we just beat the Packers like the last 3 years in a row, 2 times a year. So I'm not really worried about them. Commanders are gonna spank them. Browns are a free dub. Cowboys are they're probably gonna spank the Cowboys. Micah's probably gonna have a good game, but they could very much also lose this game. So it's in the AT&T. So we'll see, because they don't have a running back. You have to have a running back to beat the Packers. You have to have a running back. The Bengals are gonna spank them. unless their defense falls apart. The Cardinals could be either a free dub or a bad loss. Steelers could shit on them. Aaron Rodgers versus old team. I do want to see this. The Week 8 Halloween game would be fire. Um, the Panthers could be a free dub. Eagles, they're gonna spank. They're gonna get spanked by the Eagles. The Giants could be a free dub. Vikings is gonna be a hard game because it's divisional. And then you got 3 divisional games in a row. Ben Johnson's first game versus the Packers, week 14 and week 16. Then you got the Broncos and the Ravens. So I feel like at the end of the year, why is there shit like this? Week 18, they end the year with some really hard games. They go from the Lions at home, free game maybe versus the Bears, but really not. Broncos, Bears at home in Soldier Field in the snow, Ravens at home, but it's still the Ravens. Then the Vikings in Minnesota versus Jay Jettas, just in case they have a chance to play spoiler on their season. Let's talk about the Lions, guys. Actually, let's go to the Ravens first because I'm a Lions guy. Let's go more into depth about the Lions. So first game of the year, they had the MVP matchup, Lamar versus Josh Allen. He got fucked in the MVP voting last year. I feel like everybody should know that. If Josh Allen was not a white guy, he probably wouldn't have won MVP. But, you know, it is what it is. They both didn't win the Super Bowl. Who gives a fuck? Week 1, I got Lamar going OT and getting a dub. The Browns, first game, spank. But it's always close for some dumbass reason between the Browns and the Ravens. So you never know. A really good game coming between the Lions and the Ravens. I don't know who's going to win that game. I'm not going to make a prediction. Chiefs, I feel like Lamar's going to get one over on the Chiefs finally. Texans are going to spank. The Rams are going to spank. Bye week. Bears are going to spank. Dolphins, they're going to spank. Vikings, they're going to spank. Browns, they're going to spank at home. No, this is now. So the one that is at home, they're going to win. The one that's in a Cleveland is going to be the one that is really hard for them. Jets, they're going to spank. Bengals is going to be a really good high scoring game. Both of these. The Steelers are probably going to spank. The Patriots are going to spank. The Packers, they're going to spank. And in this last Steelers game away is always going to be hard. The last game of the year because what's that nigga name? It's never going to let it be easy. Mike Tomlin. Like I said, Packers first game of the year for the Lions. You know I got to go with a dub. Ben Johnson's first game back in Ford Field. That's going to be a grape. An aggressive grape. I said, a nice game between the Ravens. Hopefully coming soon. I don't really want to speak on what happened last time we played them. We weren't prepared, and I'm not going to say that that's the same team as we are going to be this year. The Browns, I feel like we're going to... Why do we play the Browns this year? Why do we play the Browns? The 2 worst franchises in NFL history, statistic-wise, never been to Super Bowl, never won Super Bowl. Free money. Browns are getting spanked. We'll probably see Shadur Sanders week 4. That's how bad they're going to get beat. Bengals is going to be a really high-scoring game. I think we're going to run the ball. I don't think this game against the Bengals in Cincinnati, we're going to give Joe Burrow a bunch of opportunities to have the ball. Look at the Rams game when they had Cooper and Puka. They had 4 or 5 possessions because we kept handing the ball off to Gibbs and Monty. Look for a low-scoring affair or a Bills game. It's going to either be super low-scoring or a Bills game from Thanksgiving. The Chiefs, I think we're going to beat the Chiefs running the football. Buccaneers, we're going to spank them on the revenge tip, but it's always going to be a good game when we're playing Baker. First game versus J.J. McCarthy back at home, we're going to spank them just to prove him a point. We don't give a fuck about him. Commanders, we got to beat them off the get back. Terry McLaurin just got to re-sign. They traded away Brian Robinson to play the new rookie guy and Austin Eckler. So we'll see. You said JJ seems very good. Bro, he handed the ball off all the way through college. We're going to see. I mean, all he has to do is stand in the pocket and throw it to Jay Jettas 25 times a game. I mean, not gonna be hard. Uh they won't have Jordan Addison until week 6, so he's only gonna have 3 weeks. Jordan Addison will to get reaccustomed back to the lineup. I think we win that first game, then win this game, and I think we have a hard fought game versus the Eagles, but we edge it out with the run game. Spank Russell, spank these niggas, spank Dallas for trading what's named to our rival. Good game versus Matthew Stafford. We always do, especially because it's going to be in LA. Steelers is going to be a good game because of Aaron Rodgers, but Hutch is going to go dumb. Then in Minnesota is going to be one of those, and then week 18 in the snow versus Ben Johnson. You know what I'm saying? But we're probably going to fuck Dallas in the ass. Let's go through and let's talk about schedule number wise. Let's go 1 win, 2 win, 3 win, 4 win, 5 win, 6 win, 7 win, 8 win, 9 win, 10 win, 11 win, 12 win, 13 win, 14, 15. So I'm thinking 14 or 15 wins, with an exception for the Ravens game, the Chiefs game, Bengals game. You know what I'm saying? It could go Eagles game. Could go either way. I don't think we lose another game in the division for a very long time. But hey, I feel like that's a good wrap up on that so far. Let's go back and look at the standings from last year. And I'm going to give you guys some words of encouragement for betting. Right now, the Lions to make the playoffs is some bullshit. If you can find it, you need to be parlaying the Buccaneers, the Lions, and the Buccaneers, Lions, Texans, and Dolphins to make the playoffs. Why? 3 teams in the AFC West are not going to make the playoffs again. The Colts are going to suck. Jaguars might get a little bit better. Titans are going to be ass again. Bengals are a team to bet to make the playoffs too. Because if it's going to be any division like this again this year, it'll be this, because they were 1 game out from taking the Broncos spot. And if anything, it'll be the Bengals. So Bengals, Lions, Bucks is a fire playoff to make parlay. And that is gonna conclude our sports section of Jugg podcasting. That only took 20 minutes to talk about the NFL and baseball. It's not bad. I mean, you know what I mean? I feel like everybody should definitely drop how they feel in the comments. Share this video, clip it of your own fruition, post it. Whether you argue with me or not, tag me. You know what I mean? It's 11:30 almost. I'm a little disappointed with the turnout. That's crazy, Chad. If I listen long enough with these headphones on, I can hear my heart beating. Nick can hear his heart beating. Shit's crazy. You said that's a little too powerful. So what? What the noise cancellation? Bro, I could hear my heart beating, bro. That shit crazy. Hey, but like I said, shout out to everybody that came out to the first episode, man. If you didn't know, it's all sponsored by Coveted Society, man. You know what I'm saying? This is a Coveted Society sponsored event. Um, Shout out to Big Bro for getting us the merch for this. And then shout out to Lululemon for the shorts that I have on as well. We're gonna try to get these sponsorships cracking. Still got the Lil Lee sponsor on the back. Let me go get that. Damn, Chad, I was supposed to have a Lil Lee sponsor in the back the whole time, huh? Still Lil Lee sponsored. Y'all know how we get down, man. Yeah, we was at Arts Beats and Eats, man. We was at Arts Beats and Eats, yo. I did not have on Coveted merch